Here we go. Welcome to the Leo Zagami Show for the 18th episode of a new format celebrating 20 years of Illuminati Confessions. We are proud of that, and we are rather proud of that. So please share this video and put like. That's what we expect from you. We had a great show on Wednesday as well as last Saturday. Please check them out if you already didn't do that. And then, of course, I want to thank those who have made these two shows possible. This week, I want to thank, of course, sponsors, because, guys, sales of the books, there is a bit of crisis, but we highly encourage you, if you're interested in today's topic, to purchase volume 7, as well as, of course, volume 6.66, and The Rise and Fall of a Frankie's Monster, which is my latest bestseller. And it's a book we should always mention because it's relevant. I mean, everybody was kind of forgetting about the Epstein files. They were not even in the news any longer, but we have to thank once again Melania Trump. Melania Trump. She kind of brought us back to life with the Epstein files. I mean, there is something going on in the White House, guys. Chaos Magic. Chaos Magic will be unveiled today. The motto of Chaos Magic is nothing is true, everything is permitted. Welcome again, and thanks again to our sponsors, Daniel Esses and Larry Frascella. If you want to join our sponsors, you can do it anonymously or publicly. That's something you can choose yourself to do. Either way, you can help us with GoFundMe or with our Cash App handle you will find at leozagami.com, together with my latest articles. So let's go and check which is the latest article, because there has been a lot going on. The Bilderberg, the Bilderberg is in Washington, D.C. We have a friend there who is always trying to get hold of these Bilderbergers. Let's check out what's happening in Washington, D.C.
Remember, Zyler, King Jesus is watching you. God's on the throne. You too will answer to King Jesus soon. Bilderberg is a death cult. Resign now. Don't be a part of it. Start working against them and start working for Jesus, okay? The Holy Spirit sent me to you both today. God's real. The Holy Spirit lives inside of me. He sent me to you, Zyler. And to you, Anna. God has a plan for you. It's not being a part of the Bilderberg cult. It's a death cult. And you know. He has sent a witness to you today. God has sent a witness to you today. I'm Joseph Philip Daniel. I'm here in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. God loves you. Don't fight against him. Don't go to hell. Make Jesus your Lord and Savior. Today, pray to him. Reveal yourself to them both, King Jesus, if it's possible. Thank you for sending me to them today, God.
Seek the face of the Lord.
Welcome to the Leo Zagami Show. Thanks to our friend who is always there trying to bring a bit of the Holy Spirit to these Satanists in the Bilderberg. They're all there in Washington, D.C. this year, meeting up without Trump. Trump has not been invited officially. Trump has not been invited. But Trump is always present these days. And we want to discuss his role as a chaos magician, a role I have initially addressed in 2022 in Confessions of an Illuminati Volume 7, this role of Trump as a chaos magician, either aware of it or unaware of it, it's there. It's not disputable. It's undebunkable, let's say, especially after exorcist Father Ripperger has recently told Tucker Carlson the U.S. is under the control of high-level demons. And so I wanted to explain a little bit more about this Satanism in the White House, why chaos magic is actually being used at times also consciously by a lot of the people involved in and around Trump these days. Exorcist Father Ripperger has told Carson that the US is under the control of high-level demons. The US, it says here, the article on Life site, is now wholly under the influence of a cadre of demons known by exorcists as the generals, who are tasked with carrying out Satan's design for the world. Now, most of you have not heard about chaos magic. A few of you have, and in fact, I have even received emails of people saying, I cannot find a photo of Peter J. Carroll, who is one of the founders of this form of magic, which was created in the 1970s. So let's explain a little bit more about this form of magic, which is connected also to the new thought, which Trump has been aligning with the whole of his life, this positive thinking. What is chaos magic? Chaos magic is rooted in 19th century occultism, and we should actually have already spotted that things were not really as they seemed from the first Trump presidency, when Steve Bannon said in 2016, darkness is good. So darkness is good. And then we have later on in the campaign for the successful campaign for what became Trump's second presidency, Elon Musk stating, I'm dark MAGA, which, as I've told you a little while ago, is also connected to the Dark Enlightenment. Now, chaos magic, let me explain what is chaos magic, because of course, most people might not have any idea about Trump, because Trump has been defined not only by me, but also by famous occult historian Gary Lanchman, who, by the way, was also a member, he was the bassist for the group Blondie. Trump has been defined as a natural-born chaos magician. This definition was given to him a few years back in this book called Dark Star Rising. Now, unlike traditional magic, how does this chaos magic work? And this is what most people want to know, because Trump is basically an operator who creates confusion and disruption, seizing every political opportunity that emerges from the eventual instability. But the motto of chaos magic really is what defines Trump. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Now, where does this motto come from? Originally, it comes from Hassani Sabah. Then it was picked up by William Burroughs, who some of you may know worked with my grandmother, so somebody I also had direct contact with, together with Brian Geisen. Somebody here in the chat is asking me, didn't it originate with Austin Osman Spare? No, Austin Osman Spare was rather an inspiration, because he was long dead when the actual chaos magic was formally created in the second half of the 1970s. Then later on, they also put together a secret society. That secret society is called the Illuminati of Thanateros. I repeat, for those who want to know more about this kind of subject, volume 7. Austin Osman Spare was definitely a big influence, but we can also say that one of the other big influences was Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant was somebody who had been directly involved with Aleister Crowley, who wanted to modernize, in a way, Crowley's approach. The same here in the United States with people like Michael Berthiaud. Michael Berthiaud, who I've also been linked to in the past when I was a member of the OTOA. So my knowledge when it comes down to these subjects is also a direct knowledge. Michael Aquino was also involved with chaos magic and chaos magicians. I talked about it, especially in volume 8 of my Confessions, where I talk about Genesis P. Orridge. Genesis P. Orridge was another person which I met in the 80s, thanks to my grandmother. And I've also met again later on in Oslo, when he was no longer a man, but he was undergoing this transformation to become a woman while he was still married with a woman. Crazy stuff. I mean, he just wanted to model his body. Now, let's explain a little bit the situation. Now, unlike traditional magic that relies on rigid rituals, discipline, initiations, yes, chaos magic at times can, initiate, but it never relies on rigid rituals. It rather prioritizes imagination. It prioritizes imagination, and so it gives the practitioner, let's say, a lot of space, to do a lot. The beliefs are treated as, so even the religious beliefs. That's why Crowley was already somebody who didn't have a fixed belief aside from his religion of Telema that he thought he needed to manifest, because he wanted to be a prophet. But in chaos magic, beliefs are simply a symbolic construct, maps, rather than absolute truths. Now, like I explain in my books, the founders of chaos magic practice the magic of Ablamelin the Mage before coming out with chaos magic. So if you have practiced the magic of Ablamelin the Mage, you of course know the whole legion of Satan, because here you have the very specific on how all you have the four principalities: Lucifer, Leviathan, Satan, and then you have all the others under blah blah. They're very detailed. However, it seems like in chaos magic there is also a good element of anarchy, almost like wanting to bend everything, because in reality there is a total liberation from dogma. So everything is permitted means for them a total liberation from any fixed magical technique, deity, or tradition, which is, felt as superior or forbidden. The practitioners of chaos magic are empowered to innovate or to even blend systems freely. As long as the ritual works, that's the important thing for the chaos magician. Now, because of the ultimate, the ultimate arbiter of the whole of belief or ritual, if it works or it doesn't work, is it's based on the results it obtains. So it's not about believing anything; it's believing in the results. How did Crowley manifest this reality of chaos magic? He did it. When it comes down to New Thought, he does it consciously. When it comes down to the connection between New Thought and chaos magic, there is some speculation he's doing it consciously, for others he's doing it unconsciously. In any case, the memes became what the seals of magic are in chaos magic. The memes, like Pepe the Frog, that became, characteristic of the alt-right, of the first Trump presidency. That is really what we are discussing when it comes down to the memes that now bombard every person, when they go on Truth Social. You are bombarded with a bunch of memes. Well, those memes are like magical seals that are manifesting into a reality. So everything that, we started to see initially on 4chan, on Reddit, this meme magic that started to surface with figures like Pepe the Frog, which became like a collective seal of this manifesting thought form. It's like the war of memes, memetics, manifested. So the war of memes, and for the practitioners of chaos magic, the chaotists, let's say, that's how they like to call themselves, there is an intention of, a deliberate intention of changing the paradigm shift. And for the chaos magician, he wants to manifest the thought form, the will. So it is almost certain the connection between what Crowley was trying to promote with Telema and do what thou wilt, all the way to chaos magic. That's why chaos magic is embraced today by a lot of people who are connected to Telema and Aleister Crowley, because they see it as a natural development. And in today's episode, I wanted to really discuss what is happening, because the White House this week has really synced to a new law. When we saw this post on Truth Social attacking Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owen, and even my friend Alex Jones, I was shocked. I was pretty shocked of this new law. But this is part of Trump's chaos magic. And when we saw Melania coming out, bringing back to life the Epstein files, that is also part of chaos magic. All the attention was deflected from the Trump files, the Trump Epstein files, or the Epstein files, to the war in Iran. Now that the war in Iran is basically lost, because as a former finance minister of Greece said, America is literally kept hostage by Iran through the Hormuz Strait. So we are kept hostage. And we have J.D. Vance, who went to Pakistan to talk with the Iranians. But this might really be only an exercise in dialectics, because we might soon see the war continue. Trump is bringing America to an economic catastrophe. We are literally living the chaos magic that is being unveiled by Trump and his demons. Here we have one of them, Jared Kushner. We have talked in the past about the fact that Kushner is involved with the movement of Chabad Lubavitch. Chabad Lubavitch's Orthodox Judaism has been infiltrated left, right, and center by the Sabbatean Frankists, and is now their main movement within Orthodox Judaism, so they can influence the rest of Judaism. And of course, they have control over Zionism and Israel. Israel, like a late friend of mine used to say, is a Sabbatean Frankist state. My late friend Barry Kamish said that, not me. And I explained very well in this book how it's all working out with the Christian Zionists, with Israel, with Sabbatean Frankists, who have complete control over both the Christian Zionists as well as the Jewish Zionists, because not every Jew is a Zionist. Remember, guys, this book is relevant, and you should all read it now, not tomorrow, not the day after. I'm, of course, working on a new book, which is going to be probably presented to you in the next 60 days. But this book is still, and it will still be relevant, I think, for a long time to come. As you know, contrary to many other people within the so-called MAGA movement, we were the first ones to recognize last year with my wife, when Trump was no longer credible, I immediately denounced the whole thing, as well as bringing out this book, which starts with a reminder of what Trump said last summer in regards to Epstein, when he was there claiming that there is nothing else to see here, move along, the Epstein files are nothing relevant. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? President Donald J. Trump said in response to seemingly annoying questions. That's how my book starts. And now we are basically kept hostage by the Epstein party. The Trump-Epstein party is the one behind the demons that Father Ripperger was talking about. But these demons are evoked using chaos magic. And that's why the sudden appearance of Melania, who nobody was really talking about. Nobody was giving a damn about Melania and Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein wasn't even relevant any longer, and suddenly Epstein is back. And suddenly people can check out the email, especially the one where Ghislaine Maxwell says, "Sweet pea, thanks for your message." And Melania, "Dear G." Here we're talking about the less liked first lady in the history of the United States of America. And everybody seems to say that, seems to depict Melania as a wife who independently went there and denounced the whole thing and has done something that Trump didn't want Melania to do. Well, instead, the guys, Melania is, and I mean, even her film documentary, which nobody has seen. I have seen only 10 minutes of it because I couldn't really make myself see more of that. It's such a bad documentary. I mean, maybe I saw 15 minutes of it, okay? It was on Amazon one day. I saw 15 minutes of it. She's so meticulous in organizing every single speech, every single appearance. And we have to believe that she just went out and started, and announced to the world that she no longer wanted people to talk about Epstein, that she was fed up and that she wanted the victims to. I mean, it is obvious that Trump was behind this choice. Trump simply wanted to deflect the attention from one thing to the other. It seems like Trump is so desperate that even the Epstein files will probably work out as a way of distracting people now. Anyway, remember always the motto of the chaos magician. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. This is something that we need to remember in all this. But we also have to remember that what is happening at the White House is also because of the Epstein files. So the Epstein files are a massive generator of chaos in this equation. This article that came out today is particularly revelatory because it is about a guy, Italian guy, Paolo Zampolli. Paolo Zampolli is connected to a lot of people I know back in Italy, and he's always been a very important name, especially in the fashion business. When Melania claims that that she met with Trump in a club and she was not introduced to Trump by Epstein. She claims that basically she was introduced to Trump in this club, which was run in New York by Paolo Zampolli. But Paolo Zampolli was attempting to become partner with Jeffrey Epstein in the purchase of Elite Model Agency. So they were very close with each other. And so here it says, on a busting night in 1998, a New York Fashion Week party, Paolo Zampolli played matchmaker, and basically they met at this club in New York. This club where all these models who were kind of failed models who wanted to maybe meet with a rich husband will go, and through Zampolli they will meet their future rich husband. And that happened in the case of allegedly happened with Trump and Melania. But apparently in that same club we had often present Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, who was a financial partner of Victoria's Secret, who was basically very much also involved in the fashion business, because that's how he recruited all the little girls that he brought to his island, to New Mexico, to New York. Zampolli was very close to Jeffrey Epstein. So close that at one point Jeffrey Epstein though thought about this guy in terms that were not so good, because he saw him as almost competing in certain aspects of his, of his network, let's say, of his personal network. So Melania claims she was not introduced by Epstein. Melania goes on and talks about the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. But the problem is that Melania's unexpected denial of a relationship with both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell either indicates upcoming damaging revelations, or either indicates the fact that as a chaos magician, Trump has simply used this as distraction. Because in fact, the Epstein survivors and critics argue that the statements that were made by Melania, they acted as a deflection to protect those in power and shift the burden onto the survivors. So diverting the attention from the ongoing investigation into the handling of the Epstein files, because the new guy who is now in charge, who has substituted Pam Bondi, who used to be the lawyer of Donald J. Trump, says there is nothing else to see. We are over with the Epstein files. And suddenly then we are back into the Epstein files, but not with the DOJ, but through Melania Trump. And the announcement is said to have caught many White House staffers by surprise. But like I stated earlier, nothing is done by Melania in an improvisation mode. She's well known to have, to work and prepare her appearance well in advance. So it's not possible that suddenly, she wakes up, I want to talk about me and Epstein. No, it's not going to work out that way. It's part of a strategy. A part of a strategy of a madman who is bringing this whole country to hell, who has attacked people like Tucker Carlson, like Alex Jones, like Candace Owen, like Megyn Kelly. This is what Alex Jones has said in the last 24 hours.
To scorch earth Trump to get him back on track. Only way to do it is to go after him viciously. You've already shed all over me. And if you try to rub it in, I just at that point, I don't care anymore. So
yeah, but Alex, people who have followed the Leo Zegami show know very well what I've been saying for the last few months. Trump is no longer to be trusted. He's covering up for the Epstein files, his involvement, the involvement of his friends. In this attack, by the way, not only he criticizes Tucker Carlson, Alex, and Megyn Kelly, and Candace by calling them low IQ, but he also criticizes once again Major Taylor Greene, calling her Major Traitor Brown. And that is outrageous. I mean, when Alex came to Rome in 2015, I then founded Italians for Trump. We became the first supporters when he was still running for the primaries to then obtain the lead to go into the campaign presidency. We were already supporting him. Alex asked me, should we support him? I said, okay, he seems to be a maverick. He's a billionaire. Maybe he doesn't need the money, and so he might do some good. So let's support him. Well, we fall for it. That's the problem. We fall for Trump's ways that fooled everybody in the end. And now I think that Alex needs to put his mind at peace. He can't interview Roger Stone. Roger Stone, of course, is going to defend Trump. Roger Stone would be in jail if it wasn't for Trump. But you, dear Alex, like everybody else, knows very well that Trump is finished because he does no longer have anybody in the MAGA movement, the real MAGA movement, supporting him.
if you think I've been coming after you, if you think that I'm trying to get clicks by attacking you so the Democrats that don't buy anything from me and don't like me want to put me in jail, if you think I've been on your ass, say one more thing out of your mouth. And Laura Loomer, send him this, okay? One more thing. When I've gone through hell back in your ass because you were the lesser of two evils, then I'm going to show you how to cow eat the cabbage. Do one more thing. You should be kissing my ass.
Well, I agree. I mean, people like me, also in Italy, I was persecuted for being the president of Italians for Trump. I had to flee a whole continent, a country. I had to change my citizenship because the leftists were, trying to have me arrested in any way possible for what I was writing, for the politics I was putting through in defense of Trump in Italy, in Europe. And the same thing here. People like Alex definitely have been great supporters, and the same also for Candace Owen. Let's go and check Candace Owen.
I'll tell you something, and this is just reality, okay? Going back to just the rules of the jungle. Okay, let all the politicians and advisors around you evaporate for just a moment. Just you and me, ready? People will not fight beside, behind, or for someone who is fundamentally disloyal, okay? If disloyalty and deceit is in your nature, then I highly suggest that you combine it with silence. You can be what you are, but I would advise you do it quietly, Trump, because MAGA is no longer commanded by you, and you know it. You know it. You belong to the Epstein class. That is your legacy now. People will see your name on buildings, whatever was agreed upon in those boardrooms, Jared Kushner, Trump, Gaza, hotel, whatever you tweeted, so crass. They will see that. You will earn that. And then when they see it, they will think about how many children had to die or be raped by men on islands so that you could stick the Trump name upon a building.
I agree. I have to agree. That's how it is. That's why I published this book, and that's why by publishing this book, I automatically didn't get invited. I mean, even Alex Jones never invited me on the Alex Jones show to promote this book. Even Alex. and many others. I don't want to make their names, but all these pundits on the right, they were like, "Oh no, I'm not going to touch the Epstein book, Leo. I'm sorry." Why? You don't want to touch this book? If Trump is no longer in the right, then that's it. We don't need to, to carry on. Even Megyn Kelly, I mean, she was very transparent and very honest when she said, "I had enough." Tim Pollard, everybody had enough. Joe Rogan had enough. We all have had enough. And so, how can you still support all the rubbish, the QAnon nonsense? In this book, which discusses in great detail the relationship between Trump and chaos magic through the new thought and all the rest, I've also, for the first time in 2022, explained why the QAnon, the whole QAnon project was a PSYOP developed by PSYOP units. This book is, in fact, very much a popular book, even for people like the so-called QAnon shaman, who publicly said on the Alex Jones show that he follows my work and he reads my books. So here I am in 2026 as an American citizen, watching the White House capitulate to a bunch of demons. And those demons are the demons of chaos magic, which I recognize because, they are the demons. I mean, the chaos magic is a modern occult practice that emphasizes the plasticity of reality. And that's what Trump does. Reality is not, the truth. It's truth only if it serves his own purpose. So with Trump, it's not about the defense of truth, of ethics, of morals. It's about what fits to what works out for him, And Bannon, in fact, has been out of the public eye for the last few weeks. Bannon is trying to keep himself, he was there up until last year saying that Trump will have a third presidency. Where is Steve Bannon now? Where is Steve Bannon when all the people who made the MAGA movement, like Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, Candace Owen, are actually finally saying, this guy, we had enough of this guy. And he is attacking them. And he's attacking everybody in a vicious way, telling them they have low IQ, saying they are failed TV personalities, when in reality, nobody is watching anymore that old school cable news network BS. I mean, who is supporting nowadays Donald J. Trump? Think about it. Sean Hannity and Mark Levin? Give me a break, guys. Give me a break. Are those the people? So it's, in chaos magic, by constantly changing narratives and defying institutional norms, the goal is to break the public consensus on reality. And that's what Trump is doing, making the population more susceptible to a new order. In this case, Trump's new order, in which suddenly, he comes up and he says, I want to sign the banknotes. After he couldn't take over the Federal Reserve, he says, okay, I'm going to sign the banknotes. He now wants to construct some kind of arch in Washington, D.C. Trump unveils a project which will cost more money to the American taxpayer, who already has to pay for his BS wars abroad, and now he unveils giant gold accented victory arch design. What is this? Is this a joke? This guy's behaving like, what kind of third world dictatorship is this? This is ridiculous.
250 feet high, 1 foot for every year that the United States has existed. Just for context, that would be more than double the height of the Lincoln Memorial, which you can see over the bridge there. Critics, though, are not happy at all about the plans and size of this arch. The main concern is that it will block this really historic view of the Lincoln Memorial over there, which is a memorial to Abraham Lincoln, who led the country through the Civil War, from the Arlington Cemetery, which is over.
It's insane. This is really insane. And somebody says here in the chat that basically the American people are supporting Donald Trump here. Yeah. Sorry, which country are you living in? I live in the United States of America. The common folk goes to the gas pump to put gasoline and sees $1 more or $1.50, or here in California we're paying now $7 or more, and we have the where is the golden age? Where is the golden age when I go to the supermarket? Where is the golden age when I go on Amazon and everything is costing me more than ever? Let's not talk BS, guys. Nobody here in America in the right state of mind supports this bullshit. Trust me. There is nobody in the right state of mind that supports this bullshit.
But instead, you shit all over me and rub it in. I'm not looking for a fight, but if you want one, you came to the right place.
Now, I hope that Alex keeps on fighting. But also that Alex understands once and for all that Trump is not working for us. He's working for him and for, coincidentally, all the people in the Epstein files, his friends, the ones Marjorie Taylor Greene said, you know, because when they had their last call within him and Marjorie Taylor Greene, he said to Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, my friends will get hurt. My friends will get hurt. Who cares about your vicious friends? We still need to understand what is being hidden in the Zorro Ranch, because that's something of a mystery. What's hidden in the Zorro Ranch? Huh? I mean, I really feel like the situation is getting completely out of control. Tucker Carlson, he used to campaign with Trump. He helped him so much, and now he's treated like a criminal by Trump.
Tonight, President Trump going hard on some of his really political allies, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, others. This is what he wrote about Carlson. Again, they have been critical of the war in Iran. He wrote, Carlson, who couldn't even finish college, he was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same.
What kind of bullshit is that? Listen, nobody follows the traditional cable news networks anymore. Only your old boomers, your old, you know, those old folks who might support Trump and are still brainwashed by the bullshit that Sean Hannity pulls through every day. Sean Hannity, who I remember used to go around with the CIA pin, and, you know, he was like openly a CIA PSYOP operator, and nobody just wondered. A CIA pin? Whatever. It's insane. I mean, it's completely insane. And then somebody saying, Marjorie Taylor Greene was paid by Soros. So, okay. So Alex Jones was paid by Soros? Tucker Carlson was paid by Soros? Candace Owen was paid by... I am paid by Soros? No, because I would like that. Please give my bank account number to George Soros and his son. Come on, guys. Don't talk bullshit. The truth is that the real disinfo agents today are the Fox News Network, which is becoming like some parody of itself. Newsmax, they are like, ooh, But somebody who is actually talking to you knows these people. I mean, I was here involved in the Coachella Valley event, and I was behind the scene with all these people. So it's not like I'm not a journalist. It's not like I'm somebody who is talking to you from, from another planet. I voted for Donald J. Trump, and it's the first time I voted here in the United States of America in my lifetime. And now I see my vote and the way it changed America for the worse. And of course, I'm here trying to warn you guys that this is the work of Satan.
Perhaps they should see a good psychiatrist. That was some of the nicer stuff you wrote.
I think that Trump should see a good psychiatrist. Trump should really see. In fact, the call for the 25th Amendment is not just hypothetical. It has to manifest in a reality. This guy is about to make America worse again and again and again. That's how it is. So what is happening now if China enters the war? What is happening now if what is being discussed in Pakistan is simply just, taking time before the invasion? China may have shipped missiles already to Iran, and Beijing is allowing some companies to sell Tehran supplies that can be used in military production in the construction of drones, interballistic missiles, and so on. But, the only one who could now honestly say something at this point is Steve Bannon, who was a good friend of Jeffrey Epstein and also of Trump, and tell us a little bit, why you are even using Melania to deflect some attention here. The strategy of tension? No, it's the strategy of attention this time.
Chief data analyst Harry Enton is here right now. So the president attacking Tucker Carlson.
Then somebody says, Leo, this. I mean, come on, guys. I'm seeing some comments today. I like the fact that we are at least getting on the live show a lot of people, but I see some comments that are out of this world. Leo, you cannot be this stupid. I'm sad you don't know the eschatology. Whatever eschatology is unfolding and end times unfolding, that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that you can then take sides and decide if you want to be with the Antichrist, with Peter Thiel, with Trump, with Elon Musk, and all those fuckers. Then you can continue to be with them. You can continue to embrace evil and embrace Satan, because Satan is here. Satan is here. Remember that. And even the Vatican this week, the Vatican basically had this moment in which they were talking about what happened in January in the Pentagon. But then the Vatican, like I explained also in an update to the latest article, was forced to retract what happened in the Pentagon. Because, guys, what happened in the Pentagon has no precedence. In this meeting that happened at the end of January, after the speech of Pope Leo on January 9, a U.S. official told Cardinal Christophe Pierre to evaluate the Avignon papacy. The Avignon papacy, for those who don't know, was the period in which the whole of the Vatican was forcefully moved into France. And several popes had to bend down the knee in front of the King of France. So what? You want Pope Leo to move to DC with the whole Vatican so we can have control upon this religion called the Catholic faith, the Catholic religion? You want to have really control over the Catholic religion? Come on, guys, give me a break. And then now, suddenly, after the news started to circulate, on April the 8th, the ambassador to the Holy See, Brian Burch, held a meeting at the U.S. Embassy in Rome with the new apostolic nuncio to the United States, Archbishop Gabriele Caccio. So the U.S. ambassador, Brian Burch, met with the Vatican ambassador, which is apostolic nuncio, is a Vatican ambassador. Then a day later, on April 9, the apostolic nuncio, Gabriele Caccia, the apostolic nuncio for the United States, which was, by the way, also an office that was held previously by our beloved Archbishop Vigano. One day later, Caccia met with Pope Leo at the Vatican as the fallout to the media about the Pentagon was unfolding. And then suddenly they debunked the story, saying that there was nothing to see, that the papal representative said they just exchanged views as a matter of mutual interest. There was nothing to see there. So please check out also my update on the article, because it's very important. This chaos which is generated from the Sabbatean Frankist side in the White House, and then we have also the Jesuit side with the Vatican. We have basically the lesser of two evils. I would say they are two evils of the lesser, rather than the lesser of two evils, because there's no possibility of siding with Pope Leo rather than Donald J. Trump. Both of them are part of this theater of demonic proportions, which is the Great Reset. Yes, the Great Reset, guys. The Great Reset is taking place also thanks to the Strait of Hormuz, also thanks to everything that is unfolding. And remember that nothing is true, everything is permitted. Here, for you, a summary of what exactly is chaos magic.
In a world bound by laws and logic, there's a unique practice that breaks all the rules: chaos magic. In this video, we'll take a closer look at the secrets of chaos magic, how it works, and why it's so controversial. Chaos magic originated in the 1970s in England, at a time when the occult scene in the UK was dominated by belief systems such as Wicca and Thelema. The founders of chaos magic, Peter J. Carroll and Ray Sherwin, pushed for a system that gave practitioners the freedom to mix beliefs and methods, a postmodern form of occultism. It aimed to break away from the rituals and regulations of other types of magic. The birth of chaos magic made magic more relatable and adaptable. This new magic appealed to many for its practicality and focus on results, encouraging change and self-exploration. It focuses on using beliefs and symbols to reach specific goals, rejecting established paths. In fact, practitioners reject all forms of dogma. Rather, they combine various beliefs and methods to suit their own needs and experiences, valuing efficacy over the source. So why is it called chaos? Because it rejects traditional orders and embraces the unpredictability of the universe. The term chaos also reflects an inspiration from chaos theory in physics, which studies how small changes can give rise to large, unpredictable effects in complex systems. Chaos magic reflects this idea by emphasizing flexibility, the potential impact of subtle shifts, and the importance of individual action within a complex, interconnected universe. Chaos magic introduces the concept that our minds have the power to change reality by blending psychological tactics with spiritual rituals. This approach suggests that our beliefs and intentions can give us the results we're looking for.
That is what Donald J. Trump is actually doing.
It weaves together the psychological and magical seamlessly. At its heart, Chaos magic believes that our mental and emotional states do more than just influence our perceptions. They can actually transform our physical surroundings. One of the main techniques in chaos magic is sigillization, the practice of creating and charging a symbol with intention to manifest a specific desire or outcome. You can create your own sigil called a...
Now, the sigil has been substituted with the meme, and with the meme war that Trump's followers instigate every day on social media.
A servitor for any reason. Sarah Lyons, a practicing witch, gives this example for how to make and use a servitor. Let's say you drive for a living and have a hard time finding parking in the city or town where you reside. You could create a sigil out of the phrase, "I'm always able to find parking." If you like, you can give it a name and set up a little altar. Another key element in chaos magic is gnosis, which refers to reaching altered states of consciousness. As in shamanism, these altered states are said to help form a deeper connection to spiritual energies, which amplifies the power of the magic. In chaos magic, the mix of psychology and mysticism highlights the flexibility of reality, implying it can be reshaped to fit our desires. It highlights the need for adaptability and personal trials, embracing the inevitability of change. It promotes a dynamic and personalized way of interacting with the spiritual world, offering a modern path that is distinct and direct. Today, chaos magic continues to evolve and is accessible more than ever. As technology evolves, it offers new platforms and tools that integrate with spiritual rituals and beliefs. Some examples of these include online communities for sharing knowledge, digital environments for conducting rituals, and apps for creating and visualizing sigils. This blend of technology and spirituality allows for innovative expressions of chaos magic. But chaos magic is often criticized as being a made-up religion because of its highly individualistic approach. Critics argue that its mix and match style lacks the depth and consistency of traditional religions, which have set doctrines and practices. They claim that chaos magic treats spirituality more like a tool for personal benefit rather than a serious religious commitment. Despite these criticisms, chaos magic remains a compelling choice for many. Its adaptability and the personal nature of its practices offer a unique form of spiritual expression that resonates with those who find traditional paths restrictive. So there you have it. Chaos magic, a dynamic practice rooted in belief and adaptability. What do you think? Is chaos magic a genuine spiritual path or just a construct of modern esoteric practices?
I think it's a construct. It can't be a spiritual. There's nothing spiritual. It's just like...
Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. In any case, let's remember the first magical seal of the alt-right and the MAGA movement, which became the seal of Pepe the Frog. Here he is. Now, of course, a few years went by since the creation of this meme that pestered everybody in the right. But guys, remember, the White House is completely out of control. Chaos magic is actually unveiling, and Satan is taking control of the White House, as even an exorcist like Father Rippenger has reminded us.
He would advance in the church. So he commits treason in order to advance himself. And that's what the ambition part is. That's a description of a vast majority of the politicians in this country.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you see it all over the place.
So, I just need to ask this before we forget. So, in the famous scene where Jesus casts out the demons called Legion from the man wandering the tombs on the other side of the lake.
Right.
It's in a couple Gospels, I think. And they say, "Send us into the herd of pigs, the 1,000 pigs."
Right.
And the pigs drown themselves. They immediately commit suicide.
Yes.
Okay, so the two questions I have are, is it a feature of this realm that demons possess animals?
Yes, they can possess things. The technical term for that is infestation, which is different from possession.
Definitely, we have a lot of infestation going on in the White House. I want to thank, of course, the sponsors who made this show possible today. Let me thank once again Daniel Estes. Daniel Estes, thank you so much, as well as Lely Frascella. Remember, you can become sponsors of this show and decide to be either anonymous or either public. That's your choice. Where is the Metropolis image? It's gone. Wow. Okay, somebody's saying, Leo, you cannot be this blind, so you don't believe in the reformers? Do you hate the reformers of what? We're not talking about Christianity or the various denominations of Christianity. We are talking about demons. Demons ought to be fight whatever is your religion or your denomination. In fact, this year in May, in Rome, exorcists of all kinds are meeting, including non-Christian ones, because Satan is an enemy of mankind, not of a specific religious denomination or a specific Christian denomination. Give me a break, guys. Okay, we will see each other also on Wednesday next week, thanks to our sponsors. Remember to continue supporting this show with the purchase of my books. For those who have followed today's show, please remember to read Volume 7. This is the book where I talk about Trump, the chaos magician. This is the book where I talk about that psyop of QAnon. This is the book you should all read, Volume 7, as well, of course, as The Rise and Fall of a Frankist Monster. If you really want to know the Sabbatean Frankists who are ruining the White House and who are behind Donald J. Trump. And then, of course, Volume 6.66 is a masterpiece that also specifically talks about exorcism. Don't miss our shows. Please subscribe to our channels and please put like. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society, trying to keep it.
How small changes can give rise to large, unpredictable.
President Trump hard on some of his really political allies, Carlson, Megyn Kelly, others. This is
then I'm going to show you how the cow